My name is Nadine Haram. I'm the founder and CEO of Proximie, and I'm also a reconstructive surgeon by training. And I know we've heard a lot of sessions today about the future of surgery, the future of training, and I hope to really add to that, but perhaps a different lens. So I trained for over 10 years in reconstructive plastic surgery, and for far too long, I saw those challenges that we face in surgery firsthand. The operating room, which is often the hospital's most expensive asset, is analog. It's undigitized. We don't capture knowledge or data in any meaningful way, and it's truly about a moment in time. And there's so many reasons why that creates challenges, but fundamentally, when it comes down to patients, it introduces variability in care. And I have seen firsthand that variability. Patients going to one hospital and getting a very different quality of care than those in another. And when we think more broadly about that, we need to imagine this environment, this operating room. The genesis of surgery was very much designed about being local, about a moment in time, standing close together. I often talk about the 3 C's: communication, collaboration, and co-presence. And that was the thesis behind surgery, which made a lot of sense, many tens of years ago. But as we think about this now, the operating room and the many multiples of millions of operating rooms around the world are still living in that environment, something that's antiquated and not designed for the future. Today, we still aren't able to connect, collect, and activate information and knowledge in an operating room that can truly fundamentally change the delivery of care for patients. So I want you to imagine a world where operating rooms all around the world were connected, digitized, collaborative, and immersive, where simply by using your phone, your tablet, or computer, you could virtually reach in, share best practices, learn, mentor, coach, and better understand the ethnology of what goes on in an operating room, how people work together, how do we optimize the delivery of care, and introduce a way where we can really codify surgery and reduce that variation for everyone there. To do that, though, we have to build the infrastructure. We have to create the engine or the piping that pulls it all together. And that's what Proximie is. Proximie is a vendor-neutral, cloud-based application that connects operating rooms all around the world. It enables you to communicate, share best practices, tag and store information and data of what's going on, and ultimately shift the trajectory of where we're going in surgery. And as someone who's hugely passionate about global health, to me it's still unacceptable today that 5 billion people around the world still lack access to safe surgery, but even in our own home turf, that variation is no longer acceptable. And if you compound that with the new devices and techniques and technologies that are emerging in surgery, we need to think more laterally about how we deliver that. And so it was great last year to be at LSI and talk to you about one of the key applications of Proximie, which is OR telepresence, dialing into operating rooms, sharing best practice, and collaborating. And I'll show a quick snippet of a video that hopefully will just contextualize this for those that are probably looking at this picture and thinking, what's she talking about? But beyond that, I hope at this LSI to give you a future look at where this goes. Because ultimately, as a surgeon who's spent over 10,000 hours in an OR, if I was to walk into my colleagues next door 5 years ago, or 8 years ago when I first thought of Proximie and said, I'm going to digitize your operating rooms, I'm going to connect all your devices and systems and people, and it's going to be data-driven and AI-enabled, they'd probably ask me to speak slower in language that they can understand, or ask me to leave because it doesn't crystallize into anything meaningful for them in that moment. And so we really needed to find that first key application that was going to immediately create value for doctors. And that was OR telepresence. And undoubtedly with COVID, that accelerated and its adoption rapidly. And we have some partners in the audience today that have been huge proponents for that. So hopefully this works. Let's see, there we go.
We're in Australia, Melbourne, Australia, and have 69 different countries. So it's such an honor, and thank you, Proximie.
Any person in training would be happy to have this type of exposure and benefit from this type of program.
For a junior fellow to be able to handle a case like this just speaks to how we can really democratize expertise around the world and help patients around the world.
So we would have seen from the video what Proximie enables you to ingest audio, video, and data feeds from any device and any system in an operating room. And today we've connected over 17,000 Proximie interactions across 500 hospitals around the world and over 50 countries. And because it is software-based, you can literally use any device that you have. And it enables us to really democratize and scale the access of surgery. And many metrics, which I won't repeat, were quoted before around just the sheer volume and the need and the demand. But thinking about that more holistically and more visual, Imagine truly that global web of connectivity, those connected operating rooms, those environments that we can learn and crowdsource knowledge from. How do we share best practices across different specialties, new launch products, new procedures that we need to validate or codify in a better way? And truly what is key is that data is the key which is going to unlock the future potential. How do we take these analog and undigitized and quite frankly opaque environments in the operating room to data-driven environments, transparent environments, connected environments? And so that is really the path to where Proximie is heading, this data pipeline that's going to hopefully truly shift the trajectory and not be a closed solution, but one that is wanting to collaborate, connect, and integrate with partners and point solutions that are out there on the market that want to deliver that. So hopefully this video will demonstrate some of that in a slightly futuristic way. Imagine a global network of borderless, digitally connected operating rooms brimming with the world's best surgeons. Intelligent operating rooms, unburdened by geography or time, where every single interaction is recorded, connected, reviewed, and stored to shape and improve best practice. A digital continuum of surgical expertise designed to reduce variation in care. Every touch, sound, piece of technology, every patient outcome. The paradigm of surgery and healthcare is changing. It is being reimagined by the operating system of the operating room. Proximie is a centralized platform designed to scale expertise beyond the four walls of an operating room. This once analog environment is now a digitally connected and data-driven operating system designed to improve global healthcare, creating a platform that brings the best surgeons, AI technologies, and application partners into any operating room around the world. Connected surgical care. And we're really proud to announce that we've already partnered with at least 4 to 5 applications out in the market and integrated with a number of OEMs that's going to really help us scale this pretty rapidly. Oops. Going the wrong way. But I want to really highlight and over-index on this point that we don't think about surgery just about the OR. It's very easy to think about that. You could do the best operation and it could all go swimmingly, but the pre-op and the post-op is disconnected. And ultimately that could still result in a demise or a poor outcome. And so that pre-op, the preparation, the information, the data needs to be pulled in as well as the post-op. And that's where we're working really hard to deliver a connected surgical care pathway, a workflow system that enables you to connect all those pieces together, which for far too long in surgery have been siloed. And we're very excited about the partners that we're working with to deliver on this. And hopefully over time, this will continue to unlock value and revenue across the ecosystem for all stakeholders in the operating room and all stakeholders of surgery. We'd love to think it's about the surgeon and the patient, and probably naively when I started surgery, that's what I assumed, until you really start to understand and recognize the systems and the structures that go around it. And so that's the role Proximie is really trying to play, the connector and the aggregator between all these key players. I know we're short of time today, so I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you, LSI, for inviting me. Congrats on another great conference, and happy to answer any questions in the break time. Thank you.